What's up, guys? It's Dorian with another Linux distro review. Today I'm looking at Netrunner OS. Netrunner is based on Debian and also based on Manjaro. They actually have two versions. Well, they have more than two. I'll get to that in a second. But for your PC, you've got two main versions. You've got a rolling release, which is based on Manjaro, which is awesome because that's actually what I'm using right now. And they have a version based on Debian testing. So stable, but slightly newer stuff because it's the testing repos. And when I said there's more than two versions, they also have the ARM versions, which is interesting. I wish I had some hardware to test this on, but I don't currently, but I might in the future. So their website, it's got your downloads. They also have a forum. I looked on the forum and I only see a couple of posts from September and then, a few from August, July, and a lot is older than that. So for activity on the forum, it's not too active, but they do have a forum. So at least that's a good starting point. So I'm going to start off with the virtual machine. I loaded up the ISO. It is 2.4 gigabytes. It says 2.2 in the VM for some reason. But that's typical for a Debian distro with KDE. So I'll fire this up and let it boot. So it's taking a little while to load up. There we go. I was starting to wonder if maybe there was no KDE splash screen, but actually, I don't think there was, so that's why it seemed to take a little while longer. So here we go, KDE desktop. Nice looking background, nice black bars right on. And what do we have running here? Just out of curiosity, it's not GNOME, it is Yawquake. Not GNOME, sorry, Quake. Let me see, can I find some options here? Yeah, Yawquake. So it's a nice little drop-down menu. You can use F12 to pop it up. I like using those. And wow, this stuff is really small here. Let's have a look. So this is the application dashboard. I wasn't expecting that. So you get a nice full screen. This is actually nicer because you can scroll through without going back. Everything is up here. So let's start with the terminal. That'll be under System, Console. I want to see. Is this gonna make yes larger? All right. So first of all, top we're using 599 megabytes of RAM. Yeah, that's about right for KDE. It's a little on the heavier side, but this is also a live ISO, and it's quite possible that it's checking for updates right now, which will use more RAM as well. So let's quit that and let's have a look at the kernel. We're using 4.14, so that's newer. 4.14.17-1. So 2018 February. That's okay. I mean, this will no doubt update once you perform your installation. So we'll say we're happy with that. And let's look at system settings here. What do we got? I want to see. This is different. I'm new to KDE. If you're on my channel, I'm new as in I am back to KDE. So there is some things I'm still searching to find now and then. All right, KDE's Plasma version 5.12, which isn't too bad. Most distros are at 5.13, 5.14. So that's fairly recent, not too bad at all. Let me just fire up a few things here. We're using Dolphin with the standard icon themes. Always huge folders. Yeah, a lot of this stuff I don't like. I don't like this stuff, but you know what? That's okay. That can go away. Preview. Yeah. Make that go away. No. Okay. I'll worry about that later. So Dolphin, and let's see, Firefox. I'm curious about if it's going to be Quantum, Debian-based. We'll see. It might be ESR, it might not. It looks like Quantum. It is Quantum because this is the new menu, and it's 58. So little bit old. We'll see. I'm actually going to install this, and then we're going to see if this updates to a newer version, maybe at least 60, or I think 62 is out right now, so that would be nice. But at least it's Firefox Quantum. It's not Firefox ESR. Not that that's a bad thing, but let's see what else we got here. Games. I don't usually look at the games, but this stands out. Steam. It comes with Steam installed. Or was that the Steam launcher? You know what? I'm going to cancel that because I'm on a live I'm on a live ISO, so there's no point in installing that now. But that might just be the installer. So I like that that's already there. Graphics, GIMP, and Krita. So awesome. Two really good open source editors right here. Gwenview, yeah, it's a good image viewer. Inkscape, wow. GIMP, Inkscape, and Krita, they included everything. So no wonder the ISO is so big. So what else we got here? Firefox, mapping software, chat software, torrent software, Skype, Thunderbird, oh yeah, multimedia, Audacious, music browser, Handbrake. It has Handbrake. This is a video encoding software, which is really, really good, really powerful. You can pretty much go from any format to any format. So I'm really surprised to see this included. And I also saw Kden Live. So that's pretty cool. You know what? I'm probably very likely going to install this on hardware. What version is this? So this is 17.12, so not too bad. It's not the newest, but the newest is 18.04, obviously. That's I like that that's included. That's really, really neat. Multimedia, what else do we got here? It's Pulse Audio, yeah, rocks. All right, Office. LibreOffice, which version are you? It is 6. So LibreOffice 6. You know what? For being Debian, then again, this is testing, but for being Debian, it's got a lot of new versions of software here. So I'm pretty impressed so far. LibreOffice version 6.0.2. And I'm really curious now, once this is installed, what versions is this going to upgrade to? What do we have here? Grub Customizer. I've never actually used this, and yeah, I'm just going to quit. It's not going to work now anyways because it's on a live stick. Grub Customizer, I don't think I would play with that. Bootloaders and Grub are already finicky as it is, but you know what? I might try it just for the hell of it once it's installed. So system, we've got KDE Partition Manager, which is basically the KDE version of gparted. Console, yeah, Quake. VirtualBox is installed by default. Wow. So this is full featured, lots of stuff on here, guys. I'm actually really surprised. I've never loaded this before, by the way, so that's why I'm surprised. VirtualBox is installed. That's crazy. What else do we have? Discover and Calamares, that's the installer to install the OS. And information about this system, yeah, we already looked at this, the versions, 5.12. And moving on to utilities. Arc, which is your archiver. Kate, which is a text editor. Calculator. Ocular reads PDFs. Spectacle is your screenshot tool. OpenSUSE Studio Image Writer. This is a USB utility. And then your Power Session. So, you know what? I'm really shocked that how much this has installed. This is really a nicely rounded out system for included software. This has a lot. I'm going to install this right now. So, and you know what? I have a feeling this is going to go on hardware. So Let me just have a look here. I've got a little update notification. See updates. Curious to see how many there are. I'm not going to update it, obviously, because this is a live session. 14 updates. Really? That's it. Okay. I would have figured there would have been a lot more, but we'll see. So, before loading up the Calamares installer, I actually want to check something else first. So let me do this, and let me zoom it in for you guys, because I am curious. Let's go to see the sources. Let's go in here first. I want to see. Come on. There we go. So, snapshot Debian testing. So it is using the testing repo. And let's go in here. We've got other lists. Testing again. What else do we have? We have some Netrunner backports for Calamares, extras, Netrunner desktop. All right, so some version control for their packages. All right, yeah, and lastly, Skype, surprisingly, but hey, at least you can install Skype. So yeah, so everything is testing of Debian. It's not guaranteed to be 100% stable, but you know, you're going to get some new software, and you're still going to have fairly good stability being Debian. So Netrunner installer. Let me just zoom this in. I'm sure you've seen Calamares before. English, United States. Yes. New York. Sure. US default. Yes. And partition, you know what did I have on here before? I had elementary 0.4. You know what? Let's just erase it. So we're going to erase it, and it's going to give me an 8 gig swap and a 15 gig. Ooh, is that going to be enough? That should be enough. All right, and Dorian PC, password, and log in automatically, no. All right, so let's see how this goes. Standard Calamares installer, and let's see if I can keep track of the time here. I'm just gonna pause the video, and we'll see how long the installation takes. Okay, so it's all done now, and that took 9 minutes. So, and this is on a mechanical hard drive with a virtual machine. On an SSD, it'll go a lot faster, but you know what? When you look at the amount of software that was installed, it's a lot. So we'll have a look here. I'm going to uncheck restart now, and I'm going to shut it down because I want to unmount the disk, the virtual USB, because sometimes it doesn't work properly. But anyways, we'll see. And I'm getting a ton of errors about Squash FS. I don't know what this is about. So I might just do this and shut it down. Should I? Shouldn't I? Shut it down? You know what? It's a virtual machine. I don't really care. If things go horribly wrong, well then I guess I'll just have to do it all over again. Storage. Okay, so it did empty the disk. So let's boot it up. Already installed. See how it runs. Netrunner 18.03, 64-bit, and advanced options. Okay, let's do this. And I'm curious about how much hard drive space this took. And I'm also curious about any available updates. I want to see if the kernel gets brought up to a newer version, as well as some of the software like Firefox and whatnot. So we'll see here. Again, it's it seems to be taking a little while, but you know what? I think it doesn't help that you don't see the text loading, all the things loading up. Okay. Anyway, sorry. That messed me up there. So yeah, you don't see any of the text scrolling by, so maybe it just makes it seem like it's taking a lot longer. So I'm not sure what this is. This might be SDDM, I'm thinking. So let's boot in. I assume if you have more than one desktop environment installed, you'll get some other option somewhere to load it up. If you put on, if you put in like GNOME or OpenBox or XFCE, there should be another option somewhere on that login screen. So here's where I was saying earlier, there's no splash screen. Normally you'd see a KDE logo and a little spinning thing, so I'll just do it with my mouse, just so that you guys think that it's loading. So normally this is happening, and it makes it seem like progress is going on, but it seems with Netrunner, they don't have a splash screen, so you just jump right into the desktop. So again, makes it seem like it's running a lot slower than it really is, although the amount of talking I've been doing, I think it actually is running slower. So, wired connection activated, so here we are installed. So now I want to see, before anything, system console. Let's check top. So 591 megs. So okay, about the same as it was on the virtual machine. So I was hoping it would be a little bit lower, but again, it's probably now checking for updates, and it's going to pop up and tell me I have hopefully more than, what did it say, 14 before? So hopefully it'll be more than 14. Let me just quit this, and I want to see disk free. What do we have here? So used 6.9 gigs. So, well, yeah, that's a little bit high. I would see anywhere between 4 and 5.5, on a basic install. So 7 gigs it's a decent amount, but considering everything that comes with it, so let's just see here. I just want to double check. All the applications, games, graphics are all there. Internet, all there. Cool. So it actually did install everything that was in the live ISO. I just want to see if this is 2.10. No, it's 2.8. So this is an older version, but you know what? That's okay. I can live with that. It'll probably update itself. 5.12. All still the same. Nothing's changed. And I'm waiting for the notification. Come on. Want to see what kind of updates we're looking at. System is up to date. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. This came out, and actually, you know what? It could have updated when I did the installation, so that's entirely possible. I'm just going to do a update because this is Debian. It uses apt, so apt update and checking, reading packages. Aha! So what do we have here? There are some problems with skipping acquire of configured file calamares in repository. So this is the back ports, is it? I think these are backport problems. ds9.pub doesn't support architecture i386. Okay, so that is a strange error, but I just got a notification here saying I have updates now. Got a little blue. There we go. Okay, so I have 12 updates. What do I have? Yaquake, default settings, KDE apps, Plasma, Netrunner desktop, Firefox, there we go. Netrunner settings, Firefox, volume, simple menus, and Skype. All right, let's update this. And I'm curious to see if anything will change. I don't know why it said in the terminal that there were no updates, but anyways, while that's doing that, let's have a quick look at desktop. Okay, we have two wallpapers. So, option 1 or option 2. I actually like this. The Eidolon is the name of the current release for Netrunner. So, yeah. Okay, let's see what else do we have here. Do we have themes? Do we have other themes installed, perhaps? This is newer than what I'm using. If you watch my videos, I've switched to Q4 OS, and it's using KDE Plasma 5, but it's an older version. It is 5.8, I believe. It's using an older version, and so I'm not used to the little side thing here. Let's look at startup shutdown. Login screen is SDDM. It is desktop sessions boot splash. Doesn't seem to be a boot splash. Okay, that's fine. I want to see. What do I want to see? Where are icons? Where is all the looks? Themes? No. Icons. Is it Plasma Tweaks? Oh no. What crashed? System settings crashed. Well, that's not good. Okay. Alright, well, system's supposed to be up to date now. Let's see. System settings. I want icons. Icons, here we go. So, Breeze, GNOME, Oxygen. Alright, so the basic vanilla stuff. And same with widgets, I imagine. Yep. The same vanilla stuff you get with any KDE. Let's see. I want desktop themes. Screen edges, no. You know, you switch to a new version, and then you don't know where to find anything. Compositor? No. Displays? No. Alright. Well, icons. Alright, well, I don't know where to find themes. Desktop themes. There we go. That worked out well. Alright, so we are using this black X. There's blue X, air. I always use Breeze Dark with KDE. So switch to that. It's a nice flat gray. So, alright. So it doesn't have a ton of themes, but it doesn't need a ton of themes. So this, after the update, I didn't see that in the update list. I did see Firefox settings. So I'm curious now, what are the options for Firefox? If it's going to load. I don't know if it's just this virtual machine or virtual box that's being a little slow, but a little bit laggy. Let me just have a look here. Still 58, version 58, so a little bit older. And what do we have here? uBlock. That's interesting. So uBlock Origin is installed by default, which is pretty cool. I don't think I've seen an ad blocker installed by default, so that's pretty cool. I kind of like that. Although I don't use uBlock, I use AdBlock Plus, and it's easy to exclude websites because I like certain things where I support the site and their ads. So as long as their ads aren't too crazy, I'll allow them. So, all right. What else? That's about it. So, you know what? I'm going to install this on hardware because where right, Steam. Wanted to check Steam. Because I'm curious of a few things. I'm curious how it'll run on hardware, and I'd like to use the new version of KDE if possible on hardware. And I'd like to see if I can get Bumblebee working. With Q4 OS, I have 2 versions installed on my system on hardware, and I was able to get Bumblebee, which is the NVIDIA Optimus drivers, installed on both and working on both. So because they're Debian-based, it was pretty easy. The only issue I'm having, and that's the only issue why I'm not actually running Q4 OS right now, I'm using Manjaro GNOME right now, is because the Pulse Audio daemon doesn't have the plugin for the echo noise cancellation. So when I'm recording this video right now, the noise and echo cancellation is enabled. Sounds a lot better. When I record in Q4 OS, because it can't enable, you hear lots of background noise, lots of hissing and whatnot. So I'm not too happy about that. So still waiting for Steam. It did install, and I assume it's going to be the newest version with Steam Play, but I don't think I'm gonna wait for it anymore. This VM is being very slow, and I'm going to have to investigate. But anyways, regardless, what do I think of Netrunner? I think it is pretty fantastic. It has everything that you could possibly need. It installs a lot of stuff. So I'm going to give myself a good chunk of the hard drive for a partition so that I can install it and play with it. I kind of wish they gave you an option so you could install either full-blown everything like this, or a light version, or maybe have multiple options where you could just say install everything, install some things, or maybe pick and choose. I don't know. It would be nice if you could do that, but since they use the Calamares installer, that's not an option. You'd have to have like a custom-made software like Q4 OS has, actually. So Steam is still doing its thing, and I'm not going to let it continue. I'm going to shut it down. So am I happy with it? I absolutely am. There is definitely going to be a part 2 for this because I do want to install this on hardware. So keep an eye out for that. And best way to do that is to subscribe to my channel. So before you leave this webpage, don't forget to click the subscribe button and click on like. And I'd like to also thank my Patreon patrons, Carlos Arknos, Carl, George, Matt, Kit Says, and Reagan. Thank you guys so much. You guys are the producers of this channel. You make this channel possible. If you'd like to also contribute to my channel, head on over to patreon.com/dorian.slash. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Until next time, bash on.